Well, hello everybody. We got just a few seconds here before 8:30. Looking forward to tonight. Tonight is episode 9. We're going to be doing 12 episodes in all for this season. So really excited about that. And I'm Josh Hendry with Mr. Hen's Art Skills. And this is Random Quick Draw, the creative show that's randomly fast and vastly random. And tonight I will be drawing Dracula parachuting with headphones at a church. So without further ado, let's go ahead and write these things down. Start with our character, Dracula, and our action is parachuting, and the object is headphones. Got Dracula listening to some good tunes, and the setting is a church. Alright, so in my mind, I immediately had like a drone shot, sort of looking down at a church as kind of Dracula is parachuting in. I don't know if that will be the final, but that's at least what I have rolling around in my head. And something's telling me to do a quick Google search on my phone for Dracula, just so I have some of the stylings correct early on. So I'm going to Dracula and images, and I'm seeing some pretty old school stuff. Maybe if we did Dracula art, that might get something a little more creative. Let's see. Yeah. Might also try, well, let's try fantasy and see if that gives me anything cool. Yeah, you got big cape, dark hair, pale skin. Those are kind of the universal Dracula themes. Wonder if we could go with vampire art, since he is a vampire, and that might give us a little more information. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it's a little more creative when you go to vampire art and you still get that cool Dracula theme. Um, okay, so I think I know where I'm headed. Putting the Google machine down, and let's see what we got here. I'm thinking overall composition. I'm thinking something about a little church building here from kind of a top-down view. A little chapel, sort of a church is what I'm thinking. Something with an A-frame roof, and a steeple kind of there, coming out of the roof. And I want to foreshorten this a little bit, so I'm going to change the shape to give it that feeling like hopefully we're looking down on this guy a little bit. And should have drawn it in 3-point perspective probably. Make sure I'm getting this correct. I haven't drawn a lot in 3-point perspective. In fact, I haven't drawn very little, which is funny. Kind of exposing myself for not being a true illustrator. I can't imagine anybody who does illustration for a living would not be very familiar with 3-point perspective. But I think one of the things too that I think of when I think of Dracula is he's tall and lanky, and I think that coming through in the buildings with some of that kind of shape language might be a good idea as well. So we're gonna make this cross coming out of here pretty big, I think. Although that looks almost comically big. I don't want it to look comical too much, although my style is pretty comical. So maybe I can't really get away from that because it's sort of how sort of my personality, That's I am kind of a goofball. Okay, so that's alright. I guess I'm not too upset about that. And that's looking kind of like a church bell tower cross thing. Hopefully looking church-like. Front entryway, I would imagine, has some kind of an arched entryway, if I'm thinking visually correctly. Something like that. I would imagine there's going to be some kind of ornamentation above the door as well. Alright, and then we're just going straight shingle roof here, I believe, is what we're shooting for. I think is happy. Okay, that's good. There we go. All are welcome here, so got a surrounding staircase up to the entryway. Hopefully that is on point enough for this drawing. Okay, I think we spent enough time on that for now. And then I've got this idea of him kind of maybe not realizing where he's going. Maybe he's so into his music he just like jamming, like really happy. Where did I get the happy? I don't know, it makes me think of Duck Dynasty. Phil or something. I don't know. I think he said happy. Now this is kind of funny because Dracula typically has like an angry look, but if he's listening to his tunes and he's kind of tuned out, I've got to sort of play with the eyebrows a little bit to make him not feel quite so angry, but still kind of intense, so still obvious, you know? And I'm picturing pointy nose. Picturing high cheekbones, gaunt. I'm not sure his mouth is going to make it all the way over there. Maybe it will. Maybe right there. I don't want him to look too goofy though, but I think I'm, again, sort of running into my art style, you know? What song? Oh, this is a good question. Please type in the comments below. What song would Dracula be listening to? And don't say the Monster Mash. I mean, that one's too easy. Some big eyebrows now. Yeah. It's not horrible. I can't remember if he has pointy ears. Does Dracula have pointy ears? Let me see here. Well, his ears are often covered up by things like hair and such. It's a really low res image there, couldn't tell. I don't know if he's got pointy ears or not. Dracula images. Yeah, in the original one he did not. I mean, they were kind of pointy, but that was just because that's what the actor's ears look like naturally. They aren't abnormally pointy. So that's fine. I don't think he had wavy hair. It's kind of slicked back. He's just really just svelte and just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. He just got straight slick back hair. I can't think of him any other way. I mean, now there are vampires that have crazy hair, but when I think about Dracula, he's just all sort of about his business and not messing around. He's just, well, I can't believe that I forgot he's wearing headphones, so I don't have to worry about his pointy ears. Comment below if you knew that I had that I was not remembering. Right. Go. Got some cool headphones on. Let's go. I like it. Alright, so he's floating down here. Foreshortened, for sure. Nice black collar, pressed white shirt, all buckled up. I don't know if he's got, what he's got. Oh, bow tie. Bow tie. Looking dapper in the bow tie. I think now there's been so many different renditions of Dracula that you could probably get away with doing just about anything and tie it in. As long as you kind of honor the lore, I think you'll be alright. I don't think there's I think people are always ready for a creative take on something and don't just want to see what's been done before, which is a challenge. Because, man, I tell you what, there are a lot of talented artists out there and create all kinds of amazing things. Sometimes I just like going on websites, you know, and just checking out what artists are doing, checking out new styles and seeing what's out there. It's kind of a cool, relaxing thing that I like to do. I don't know, I just wanted to give him some more personality, so I opened his eyes. That was just a decision I made right there. I hadn't really thought I was going to do that, but I think that's one of the things that happens when you're drawing is you just sort of get going and then you get a feeling for what would be good. So I think he's going to be, actually his hands would probably be closer to his chest, maybe somewhere around in here. I had him up here, but I think maybe like right there, even with the chin, somewhere around in here. So picture him with kind of skinnier fingers. So let's kind of skinny these guys out a little bit. There. So yeah, the arms are gonna be, oh, you know what would be in the front? Well, you kind of be, your knuckles would be closer to right out here, and then this would be angled back a little bit. So how would that be? So your arms, if your shoulder's out here, you're gonna kind of bring your arm back and then two. Okay. Yeah, something like that. Ooh, he's not that strong. I don't picture Dracula as like super duper buff, although, again, there are versions of him out there where he's buff man. Buff Dracula. His hands need to be longer. So basic shape. There's knuckles. There. Knuckle, knuckle, knuckle. There. Yeah. There. 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 Okay. And so sleeve somewhere around in here. Okay. That's a little better. Okay, there we go. That's a little bit better. Alright. And that is going to be here. Here. We're going to have some buckles and such. Unfortunately, I have no idea what parachutes look like. I have never parachuted before in my life. So, there you have it, folks. And I don't know if I ever would go parachuting. I've got some friends who've been skydiving. They seem to like it quite a bit. I think maybe in my younger years I might have been willing to do that. But I don't know these days if I'm willing to do that or not. I'm just glad to be alive. No need to, you know, find out if that's got to continue unnecessarily. I guess if I had to, I would. But it's not the kind of thing that I think of as fun anymore. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see much of the parachute from this angle. I think there might be 5 cords out from each strap, but I don't know. It could be more. Maybe it's like 6. I'm not really sure. Alright, let's tilt this in a little. Whoa, tilt that in a little bit more. Harness you in a little bit more. Picturing a nice vest and a blazer, but with tails flapping. Maybe. And some pinstripe pants. Alright, now. No, it's not gonna be a creek. That's not the way the trail to the church looks. Come on, man. There we go. Alright, so definitely had to add some bats in here. I mean, what would Dracula be without some bats, right? And it gives us some context to size as well. Yeah, there'll be some clouds swirling around. That would be kind of cool. Makes it look mysterious, right? Yes. Haha. Maybe they had two little. Yeah, so why not? That looks pretty alright. I reckon we're almost ready for some ink. I think. Ink, I think. Think I ink. There we go. That's looking solid. Okay, so fantastic. We got it penciled, and now it's time to ink with my favorite brush. It's a beautiful thing. Alright, we can start with the clouds up here. No problem. We're doing a little bit of spookiness clouds here. Alright. roof here. And one of the things I like, just if you get your lines right in pencil and they're straight and the angles are good, when you come back on the ink, you can be kind of sloppy as long as you're sort of going over those lines. And it still has a nice believability to it. Like there's still the accuracy still remains even below kind of the awkward line weight changes and things like that. Like see, as I run along these shingles now, I'm getting all these different line weights, and it actually kind of still works and looks true to the shape of the church, but then it adds the character of being kind of spooky-ish or creepy a little bit, which I like, especially when this is the subject that we're going for here. So I don't know, I think that's really neat about pen brushes is, and just inking in general, is you don't have to be quite as precise in this round as you were previously. So you kind of get to do a little bit of cleanup work and you get to do a little bit of creative, and there's just a nice blend there, I think. So, although I do wish I had better control over when it like keeping it skinny. I don't yet have that good control that I'd like. Because a lot of times I'm intending to do a lot skinnier line than what I'm accomplishing, and that's just, you know, you kind of have to put up with it, but I would like to be a little bit better. And I worked so much of my life with pencil and colored pencil, and you can just control that medium so much. I mean, pencils just are about as precise as you can get without drawing with lasers probably, or doing it digitally. It's just such a fine motor movement and such a fine, I guess it holds the edge so tight. It's not like a brush that has a little bit of looseness to it. Like even when you get into some other materials like pastels, they're a lot harder to control than a pencil. And even ink pens, although there are some super precise ones like the microns and rapidographs and things like that. So you can be uber precise with the pen, but then when you're doing like a brush pen like this, the precision is really more, it depends more on your skill level. You have to be very skilled to be able to get that precision. And so I think for a long time ink sort of intimidated me because it seems so permanent. Like once you laid it down, you couldn't erase it. You just had to live with it. And I've grown more accepting of that as I've gotten older. But maybe comment below, what's a medium that sort of intimidates you or has intimidated you at one point in your artistic development. That would be kind of cool to see. I think charcoal is another one. And part of it for me is the way charcoal sounds on the page. It just feels like nails down a chalkboard to me. And so I've never enjoyed using it. But when I see somebody who's really good at charcoal drawing, it's almost enough to make me want to try, because it just looks really, really nice. And I found out recently that newsprint is a good medium, or a good surface, I should say, for charcoal, and I never knew that. And that sort of made me think, maybe it would be worth giving that a go, because I had only tried it previously on pretty much regular drawing paper. And maybe it feels a little bit different on newsprint. Maybe it behaves a little bit differently. I don't know. If you're a big fan of charcoal, let me know. Now, I think I'm going to come back on this guy's pinstripe suit with a micron pen, because I do want that precision. And here I got, this coat line is not what I want, because he's kind of tucked into this belt here. And I picture some kind of clasp here, some kind of buckle clasp. So that would mean his jacket would come out from underneath that and more like this. Yeah. I think I'm better with that. All right. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna have this cross piece here. It's gonna be woven through that. Is what I'm thinking. And again, I've never parachuted before, so I don't exactly know what the harness is like. So if you've parachuted before, please forgive me for just absolutely destroying the design of this. We're going to put a chest strap on there too, because I have been camping before and I know that there's a backpack strap that goes across your chest. So, gosh, surely they'd have one on a parachute pack, right? I'm sure I know what I'm not talking about. I'm sure I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm sure I know I don't know what I'm not talking about. Yeah. So there, that's my professional assessment of all of that. Didn't like any of those lines I just laid down. That's okay though. I do much better curving this way with the natural curve of my hand. I can keep the line a little bit lighter, even though I'm still using kind of the edge of the brush, which can lead to some pretty fat lines. Man, some of these line weights are pretty horrific for what I'm actually attempting to do. I'm not getting what I'm hoping for there when I'm doing that. That was pretty bad. I think I'm just touching the pen down too close to the page. I need to be even lighter with my touch to keep it thin. I mean, you press down a little bit and the ink just flows. So if you're enjoying this, please hit the like button and think about subscribing. That just helps me to know that you're enjoying what you're viewing. We are sort of getting close to the end of season 2 here. We've got 3 more, I think, after tonight, and then that will be finished out. We will have finished all the options on the list for this season. But I may do another season again after it. This year, still in 2023, and we'll see. Come up with a new list and go again. If you got any suggestions for the new list, I'd love to see those too. Feel free to comment on that as well. We can definitely make some of your suggestions happen. Keep in mind this is a kid-friendly channel, so we are trying to do artwork that is appropriate for all ages. So if you're suggesting things that fall out of the realm of that, I probably won't be able to use them for this channel. Feel free to suggest them, but I probably won't do that. In fact, I think because this is kids content or recommended for kids, I don't know that you can comment. But you could always go over to the website. You can go to mrhen.com and you can comment there. And as long as your comments are appropriate, I will approve them. So this will be uploaded there. Also, if you like this drawing or you like some of the other drawings, you can always print them out and color them. I'll put them on the website after the show. And I also do a 2-minute time lapse of the drawing, so it goes a little bit faster. And I'm not always good about talking. Excuse me, when I'm drawing. I apologize. I'm trying to get better about that, because I want it to be engaging Not just because I'm drawing, but because I'm also talking a little bit about my process and sort of what I'm thinking as I go. But then there's a 2-minute version that's just a nice, quick, and fun go of it, which is kind of cool too, I think. So yeah, I gotta say, if I can keep in mind feather touch, like just having a feathered light touch as I go, that tends to help me. Which is funny because I don't have to think about that in any other art form that I can think of. Do I have to be that cognizant of how far my hand is from the page? So that's takes a tremendous amount of hand control and also mental discipline. Like, oh, that got away from me. It looked really thick. So I did not like that. Man. I gotta give it to the guys who can just work with these so efficiently. It's just awesome. To watch comic book artists work. One of my favorite comic book artists, I have a couple, but one of my favorites is Sanford Green. And he uses this pen like a master. Really, really good. And then another one of the artists that I really like is Travis Charest. But I say Charest, but it might be Charest, or I don't know. You call it, I'm sure there's an easy way to find out what it is. But don't think he uses a brush pen. His stuff is so clean and so tight. And I'm pretty sure he just uses ink pens. He uses Prismacolor colored pencils, white a lot of times, and he'll use a two-tone paper. He uses a toned paper so that he has like a two-toned feel to his work. And I mean, his stuff is just on another level. Here's a weird thing about Travis is I thought years and years ago that he had passed away. I thought I had remembered seeing a tribute to him and all kinds of stuff about that. And then I just went online. I don't know why. I think I was talking about him with some of my students and I wanted to show them some of his work. It turns out he's still alive. He's still working. And here, all these years, I thought that he was gone. And I don't know. It was just kind of bizarre. I was like, what happened? And I never really got the answer to that. There were like some weird online references to him. Not being alive, and it was just very, very bizarre. And I have lived at least a decade thinking that he was not alive anymore. So I don't know. That is just one of the most bizarre things I think I've experienced in recent months, of just realizing that I had no idea what was going on with that, and had thought I knew what had happened. Anyway, very, very bizarre. Okay, let's see here. Alright, the cemetery fence is what's left here. Knock this guy out. See if we can do this. C-E. Yep. And normally I would probably do this with a micron pen, but honestly I want it to look a little bit, well, I wanted these to look thin for sure, but I also wanted it to look a little bit spooky, so I didn't want them to look perfect. I wanted them to look a little bit, I don't know what the word would be, but random or janky. I don't know if janky's a word. I have to be careful with the words that I come up with because sometimes they mean something that I don't mean for them to mean. I'm just trying to say what I have in my mind, and then I say stupid stuff. So I gotta be careful. But, you know, when everything's not even and perfect and whatever, I don't know what that word is. But there's a word for it. It's not discombobulated. Discombobulated, it's like where you're sort of disoriented, I think. That's not really what we're going for here. I think I need to move that guy over there in order to make sense for that guy and that guy. Something like that. Hopefully that's better. Yeah. And little tombstones out in the yard, out in the cemetery yard. I wonder if you call a cemetery a yard. I wonder if that's a proper way to refer to a cemetery. Might not be. Man, I think a lot about random stuff on random quick draw. Dun dun dun. Because it's random. I think of random things. We're going to let that one go and maybe do the mist out here a little bit more. I think I want another layer of cloud down here, swirling around like so. Yes, I do. I sure do. Oh, yeah, buddy. Oh, the pinstripes, man. I forgot the pinstripes. Okay, I got my mic on now. Whoop, little buddy. Okay. So we're going to take these and get our pinstripes nice and even. Looking proper. Yo, oh, that's way off. Wow. Okay, don't look at that. Just pay no mind to how off that is. That's really bad. Okay, wow. Okay. Whoa. I'm mad at that. Okay, that was terrible. Don't look at that. Don't look at that strap. That strap doesn't need to... You don't need to look at that strap. Nope. That parachute strap is just fine. He's not going to crash. No, he'll be fine. And I don't know why Dracula is... Why is Dracula parachuting? Can't he like turn into a bat and just fly? I don't know. But there's a good reason. You got a good reason for that? Why is he wearing part black tuxedo and part pinstripe tuxedo? I don't know. Why didn't I draw any musical notes? I don't know. It's time for some musical notes, my friends. Because he is listening to tunes and they are going to be flying with the bats, and that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. No problem. Yeah. Awesome. Well, guys, I'm going to erase this and then I'm going to scan it in and I'll post this on the website as well as this video and the time-lapse version. Also, if you would ever like to participate in this, I have the list that I pull from on the site as well as the blank kind of drawing sheets that I use. So if you would ever like to play along and draw, we would love to see your work. Feel free to draw something and then upload it on the site, and maybe we could start a gallery with other people's work online. I think that would be really cool. If you'd be into it, go for it, man. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, do all of the amazing things that you could possibly do. And until next time, keep drawing.